Welcome to today's lecture. We will continue to discuss the other major component that constrains and challenges the manager discretion, that is the organizational culture. You may notice that each of us demonstrates unique personality, which influences the way we act and interact with the others. When we say someone as warm, open, relaxed, shy, or aggressive, we are actually describing the personal traits. Similar to human beings, the organization also has a personality, which is called as culture. Such culture highly influences the way employees act and interact with the others. An organization's culture can make employees feel included, empowered, and supported. It can also have the opposite effect, which may highly constrain the daily operation. Around 84% of managers believe that organizational culture is critical to business success. So how do we define the term organizational culture? Organizational culture can be described as the shared values, principles, traditions, and ways of doing things that influence the way organizational members act, that distinguish the organization from the other organizations. In most organizations, these shared values and practices actually indicate how things should be done around here. According to our definition of organization, there are three indications. First, culture is a perception. It is intangible and cannot be physically touched or seen. The employees perceive it on the basis of what they experience within the organization. Second, organizational culture is descriptive. It is concerned with how members perceive the culture and describe it, but not with whether they like it or not. Finally, even though individuals may have different backgrounds or work at different organizational levels, they tend to describe the organization's culture in a similar terms. This is shared aspects of the organizational culture. Research suggests 7 common dimensions that can capture the essence of an organization's culture. Please see the figure on the PPT. These dimensions range from low to high, meaning it is not very typical of the culture or it is very typical of the culture. Describing an organization using these 7 dimensions gives a composite picture of the organization's culture. Now, let's discuss these 7 dimensions one by one. First, it is attention to detail. It means the degree to which employees are expected to exhibit precision, analysis, and attention to detail. Outcome orientation means the degree to which managers focus on results or outcomes rather than on how these outcomes are achieved. People orientation indicates the degree to which management decisions take into account effects on people in the organization. For example, in Alibaba, the employees can select the place that they feel comfortable to work. They can work in the office, canteen, lobby, or even in the gym. Moreover, the company provides free coffee, tea, and snacks. This is a typical people orientation culture. Team orientation means the degree to which work is organized around teams rather than individuals, while aggressive culture encourages the employees to be competitive rather than cooperative. Stability indicates the degree to which organization decisions and actions emphasize maintaining the status quo, while innovation and risk-taking encourages the employees to be innovative and to take risks. In many organizations, one cultural dimension is often emphasized more than the others and essentially shapes the organization's personality and the way organizational members work. For example, at Huawei, the focus is innovation and wolf culture, which encourage the employees to be more innovative, risk-taking, and competitive. As a result, the company successfully developed the Harmony operating system for the mobile phone, which significantly enhances the user experience and the communication security. All organizations have cultures. However, not all cultures equally influence the behaviors and actions of employees. If the key values of the organizational culture can be intensely held and widely shared among employees, such culture can be recognized as strong cultures. The more employees accept the organization's key values and the greater their commitment to those values, the stronger the culture is. As we just mentioned, the values associated with strong cultures are widely shared and accepted by employees. Moreover, strong cultures convey consistent messages about what is important. Most employees in the organization with strong cultures can tell stories about company history or heroes. For example, the employees in New Oriental, one of the largest English training institutes in China, all understand the venture history. The entrepreneurial story was even made into a film. Additionally, the employees influenced by strong cultures can be easily identified based on organizational culture, and there is a strong connection between the shared values and their behaviors. Weak cultures are all on the opposite. Therefore, strong cultures have a greater influence on employees than weak cultures. Why is having strong cultures important for the organization? What kind of benefits can strong culture bring to a company? First of all, employees are normally more loyal in the organization with strong cultures. Once the employee accepts the culture of the organization, they will strongly develop their commitment and would like to do more contribution. Meanwhile, strong culture can aid in the recruitment and socialization of new employees. With clear identified organizational cultures, the organization can select the candidates that best accept them. The candidate can quickly get used to the role after recruited. Research also suggests that strong culture are associated with high organizational performance. It is very easy to understand. Once values are clear and widely accepted, the employees of the organization know what they are supposed to do and the expectation of the organization. Then they can act effectively and efficiently, and may actively think about the solutions for the problems. However, the drawback is that a strong culture also might prevent employees from trying new approaches, especially when conditions change rapidly. The organizational culture is extremely important for the organization. Then, where does the culture come from? Usually, the original source of culture reflects the vision of the organization founder. The founder is not constrained by previous customers or approaches and can establish the early culture of the organization by articulating a vision of what they want the organization to be. Also, the small size of most new organizations makes it easier to instill that vision with all organizational members. The mission of the organization can also influence the development of the culture. Meanwhile, the actions of the top managers and the past practice of the organization have a major impact on the organization's culture. For example, if the CEO of the company focuses on listening and pays strong attention to the needs of the employees, the whole organization may seriously consider their employees when making decisions. Through what they say and how they behave, top managers establish norms that filter down through the organization and can have a positive effect on employees' behaviors. Finally, organizations help employees adapt to the culture through socialization. Socialization is a process that helps new employees learn the organization's way of doing things. Normally, an orientation section or a training section will be designed for the new employees before they start work to help them to understand the company philosophy and value system. Employees learn an organization's culture in a number of ways. The most common ways are stories, rituals, material artifacts and symbols, and language. We will discuss these 4 ways one by one. Organizational stories typically contain a narrative of significant events or people, including such things as the organization's founders, rule-breaking, reactions to the past mistakes, and so on. To help employees learn the culture, organizational stories anchor the present in the past, provide explanation for current practices, clarify what is important to the organization, and provide compelling pictures of an organization's goals. Rituals are repetitive sequences of activities that express and reinforce the important values and goals of the organization. For example, the company can emphasize the importance of the sales revenue to their employees by rewarding the persons with the best sales performance of the year in their annual party. When you walk into a company, do you get a feel for what type of work environment it is? Formal, casual, fun, or serious? These reactions demonstrate the power of material artifacts or symbols in creating an organization's culture. The material artifacts and symbols, such as the layout of an organization's facilities, how employees dress, the types of automobiles provided to top managers, and the dining facilities, convey to employees who is important and the kinds of behaviors that are expected and appropriate. Organizations often develop unique terms to describe equipment, key personnel, suppliers, customers, processes, or products related to its business. Many organizations and units within organizations use language as a way to identify and unite members of a culture. By learning this language, members attest to their acceptance of the culture and their willingness to help preserve it. Therefore, language acts as a common denominator that bonds members. The link between the overall values of the organization and the managerial behavior is fairly straightforward. The organizational culture will decide whether or not the managerial actions are recognized as proper or improper. For example, if the manager in the organization not emphasizing innovation takes risks and finally fails, he probably will take the full responsibility and should pay for the loss. The organizational culture can also influence the organizational activities. It continues to remind the managers as well as the employees what kind of behaviors and actions are valued and encouraged. Additionally, the organizational culture can highly determine the strength and weakness of the organization and further influence its competitiveness. The organizational culture, especially a strong one, influences the decisions of managers and constrains the way managers plan, organize, lead, and control. In terms of planning, the organizational culture may influence the degree of risk that plans should contain. Meanwhile, whether plans should develop by individuals or teams will also be decided based on organizational culture. At the same time, the degree of environmental scanning in which management will engage is also determined by the organization's culture. For organizing, the organizational culture influences the manager's decisions on how much autonomy should be designed into employees' jobs, whether tasks should be done by individuals or in teams, and the degree to which department managers interact with each other. For example, if the organization is team-oriented, more tasks will be completed in teams. In the leading function, the organizational culture may have impacts on the degree to which managers are concerned with increasing employee job satisfaction, the leadership style, and the ways in dealing with the disagreements. Finally, for controlling, the organizational culture may influence the decisions on whether to impose external controls, criteria selection, and the correction actions. Based on our previous discussion, we understand that organizational culture can significantly influence the overall performance of the organization. Therefore, all the organizations pay strong attention to their organizational culture. To generate better reputation and achieve the desirable outcomes, currently, most of the organizations seriously consider the issues of innovation, customer service, and sustainability. As we all know, technology development can significantly enhance the competitiveness of the organization, and customer is the reason that organization exists. Sustainability determines the long-term success of the organization. Therefore, I would like you to think about these questions. If you are the manager, how can you create the innovative culture in your organization? How can you create a customer-responsive culture? And how can you create a sustainability culture? I will give you some hints here. For example, if you would like to establish the innovative culture in your organization, how much freedom should you provide to employees? And are the employees rewarded for taking risks? If you would like to enhance your customer service, what type of employees should you hire, and what kind of discretion should you provide to them? I'm sure that you can work out these questions by your own if you conduct some simple research or do some interviews with the industry professionals. By now, we finished the discussion on the external environment of the organization and the organizational culture. We hope that you can have a comprehensive understanding on the constraints and challenges for a manager in the daily operation. Thank you.